This piece is called Blood Barrier, and it's actually a found piece of art. I haven't done anything to it at all, except to take it off its hinges and to bring it in here, because I thought that it really represented something. I mean, as you can see, this is paint, but it looks like blood, and then there's a nail. And if you walk close enough to it, you will actually tear your clothing, and you could add blood to this. So I'm hoping that when people look at this piece, they move closely to it, they cut themselves on it, and they bleed on it to complete the piece, so that the found object then becomes one with the viewers. Now, failing that, what you can appreciate is just the natural state of what was once a man-made object. You can see the patina, you can see the paint falling off, and I encourage you actually to feel it, to feel the paint. And maybe paint chips will get under your skin, and once again there'll be more blood on it, because that's really the point of this piece. It's symbolic of war, and of how man, you know, builds these things up and war tears it down, and blood is the intermediary between all of those different things. Now, there are many places that you can cut yourself on the piece if you want to add to it. There's this. I don't recommend this because it's a little bit rusty, and then you might need tetanus shots. But this nail is relatively clean, and this is another nail here that I would probably avoid. But any way that you want to let blood on there at all would really help to complete the piece. There's another one down here. You could catch your ankle on that, but it's a very interactive piece in that way. The back side, and you're free to look at it, because once again I'm hoping that you'll hurt yourself on it, has the nail going through. If you'd like to deposit blood on the back side, that's also fine. You know, I didn't have you sign a waiver or disclaimer what you came in, but obviously if anything happens to you from letting blood on the object, think of that as a continuation of the art, you know, rather than as some kind of illness or disease or anything like that.
And you said you found the piece and didn't alter it at all, other than to take it off its hinges. Was there a specific reason why you wanted to leave it exactly as it is?
Yes, because I thought that it was more authentic this way. You know, sometimes just by taking something out of context, it becomes art. And so in this case, if this were just where it originally was, you probably wouldn't look at it twice. But taken out of context and put in this room and put against the walls, and especially if you do interact with it and injure yourself, then you see it in a totally different light, and it has different meanings. And then the totally abstract shapes, you can start to read things into. What left this mark as it went by? You know, was it intentional? Was it accidental? And so really, it's a thought piece.
And were you looking for this piece, or was it something that you just found?
I was looking for a piece to take out of context, yes. And so I was actually in Point Reyes, and I saw this, and I didn't ask permission to take it, but I didn't think that they'd miss it because there were other holes in the fence. And once again, that was part of the process, was, you know, to usurp it from its original location and to bring it here. And when the show is done, and, you know, it's been completed by the viewers, then I plan to put it back in its original place as the final portion of the piece.
And if there was one thing about this piece that you're most happy with, what would it be?
I think the fact that when you do take it out of context, things that were invisible in the original context just suddenly come to life. These shapes, the odd angle down there, you know, it all becomes so much more sculptural and so much more meaningful. And you can, of course, like all art, read your own thoughts into it. But I think this one, there's a melancholy to this piece. You know, why wasn't this kept up? What was the life of the people like where it originally was?
And conceptually, how does this fit into the body of work that you're doing right now?
Conceptually, it fits in because some of the work that I've done is so precise and planned and man-made by me, and this is something that is more random. So it's really the opposite of some of the pieces in the show, and that was the other reason why I wanted to do it, because not only putting this out of context, but it adds a different context to all the other pieces.